Welcome to Inside the Ink, where we uncover real stories from the creative minds and businesses shaping professional printing. Built in 1971, Printing Center USA found its groove when ink met paper, and we've been rolling ever since. This is for people like you, creators making ideas real. Welcome to the Inside. Today, I'm joined by the co-founder and president of Sweet Dream in a Bag, Susie Fox.
Right?
Hey, how's your day been so far?
Good, good.
Good. So, I'm so curious. When did you realize your story wasn't something to hide, but something that could lead and bring so much more to the community?
Well, we've done this for 16 years. It was 2010. I saw an extreme makeover video and they redid a house and then they went and did some kids' bedrooms in the neighborhood. And I thought, oh, that's right up my alley. I love children, I love color, and I love bedding. I was born to a very dysfunctional family, lots of yelling in our family, and I hated it. But
Mm.
my bedroom and my bed were my safe spot. And so I thought when I saw this extreme makeover video, maybe there's kids in the world that need that safe place to be,
Right.
like I did. And so that's when we just got, I don't know, just brainstormed a lot and decided to make Sweet Dream in a Bag. And so it's very portable, and the kids get all new bedding. And because of your printing center, we read them a little story about them. And so it's just been an awesome thing. I can't tell you, we work with kids that live in poverty, and none of those kids have ever wanted to be in poverty. It
No.
just happens,
Yeah.
and they have no control over it.
Yeah.
And so they do have some control over choosing their new bedding.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And there's a lot of nonprofits that mean well, but what do you think made you decide yours would be done just so beautifully?
Um, I think because it's so different and it means so much to me. Bedding means so much to me. I thought maybe there would be kids that it would really touch their heart. And what we found over the 16 years is that's very true. These kids that live in poverty, many of them sleep on dirty clothes, or they sleep on the floor, or they get used bedding in black plastic bags.
Right.
They've never had anything of their very own that's beautiful.
Right.
It's amazing because the teachers tell us they can tell when the kids have gotten a sweet dream bag because they do so much better in school because they come to school rested.
Right.
I can't tell you how many kids have come up and said, oh, now I don't have to shiver anymore all night.
That's
So
huge.
it is huge. And there's plenty of food banks and there's plenty of clothing places, but nobody's thought of how kids are sleeping. And it's sort of like when I was raised in this dysfunctional family, it was behind closed doors
Right.
and nobody had to know,
Yeah.
and sometimes we have a hard time with parents. They're afraid to tell us their kids don't have bedding or they don't have beds. They're afraid their kids are going to get taken away.
Hmm.
Well, they aren't, but that's their
Right.
fear.
Yeah.
And so we have to build some trust. And if they don't have a bed, we do provide them with a blow up mattress like you would take camping or something that may last through the winter. It won't last forever, but it might give mom or dad a little bit of time to get a real mattress.
Totally.
And
Totally.
and
Oh,
if
go
the
ahead.
kids are sharing an apartment with other families, they can just push their bed up against the wall and still have space for people to live.
Totally, and that's huge sometimes because a little bit of space goes a long way, especially for kids. Like sometimes
Right,
they just want a little space that's their area where they can just go and play. And so I bet
right.
that's super, super helpful. And you mentioned how you were thinking, oh, there's a lot of food banks. How else could I help? So at what point did this stop being a project and start being a movement?
I think from the very beginning.
That's amazing. I love that from the very start. It's a movement.
Well,
So
I think when we started, we thought we would probably gift 20 kids.
okay,
That if we gifted 20 kids, we'd make a difference in 20 kids' lives.
right.
And now, after 16 years, we're over 23,000 children.
That's amazing. And I even saw on your website that it was over a million, right?
Dollars that we've,
Right,
yeah,
right.
that it's
Yeah,
taken. Yeah, because it's all new bedding.
right,
And I don't want these kids getting used stuff.
right.
I want to give them our very best. And I think when we first started, I thought, oh, I'll just buy the stuff that is on sale. And then we talked to a pastor in downtown Denver, and he said, Susie and Wayne, I think you ought to give them your very best. That's when we decided if they want Pokemon or if they want Princess or if they want,
Superheroes.
yeah, they should have it. So, because of when COVID came along, we were able to put our catalog online. And then the caseworker can work with the children and go online and show them all the bedding
Different styles.
packages we have.
Yeah,
And the kids actually get to choose what they want.
right.
And these kids don't have any choices in life.
No, no.
So when they get, it's very often that a teenager will take a princess or a Hello Kitty because they never got to be the kid. They had to be the babysitter when they were growing up. And so they get to go back in time and kind of be spoiled.
Right. I
And so it's exciting to see what happens to these kids' whole demeanor. They walk in and kind of wonder what's going on here and what are people going to want of us. And we don't want anything. We just want them to have a good night's sleep.
Right, and that's just so genuine and special. Like it's getting me thinking back to my childhood bed and just how much excitement there was around that and
Mhm.
pride and joy. And to be creating all of these feelings with just one simple act is incredible, Susie.
Well, it's been amazing because we've been around for 16 years. We're now starting to run into people that we've gifted a long time ago. And
Oh,
I was in a Starbucks one day, and this girl just kept smiling at me and smiling at me. And she goes, what do you do? Because I had my sweet dream buttons on and everything. And I said, well, we give bedding to kids that live in poverty. And she said, oh, you gave my sisters and I bedding years ago. And she
wow.
said, but when you gave it to me, I was the oldest child. And I
Mm.
was so worried about my mom and so worried about my sisters. I didn't even realize what you'd given me until I climbed in my bed that night. And then I realized you gave me such a gift.
Right.
And she said, I just want you to know that everybody in the family is doing well now and that you gave us all hope.
I
So,
love
what
that.
more would we want to do in our lives? You know,
Exactly. Bringing joy, bringing hope. That's the best.
That's right. And so the little book, can I talk about that?
Of course, we'd love to
Okay.
hear about it.
Well, our daughter wrote it, and it's like the old Mad Lib. And on the front cover, there's all kinds of words. For the red box, it's you name your beanie baby that's in the bag. And then the blue is words about you. And then the green box is words about your bed. Well, You know, it's these beanie babies are so neat because even teenagers can love a beanie baby. And
Right.
it's just really neat. So what we do is we have a whiteboard and we just say, what do you want to name your beanie baby? And it could be Fluffy. It could be actually one of the teenagers. Well, I guess she was maybe 9, not teen, said to Wayne, well, I think I'd like to call it butt crack. And Wayne said, well, okay. And so they sat down and started reading. And, you know, every time they got to a red box, they would say butt crack. And she
Yeah.
would fall on the floor and just start laughing. And when they got done reading, she goes, you know, I think we need to read it again, maybe a couple more times. Well, the mom came up later and said, I haven't seen my child smile or laugh in months.
Oh,
And she said, thank you for just bringing such joy to her life. And she goes, and I'm sorry of her words, but I thought, no, that's just what kids do, you know,
right.
just
Totally.
just in one little boy, we came back to the agency to give some more children, and he came up and he said, oh, I lost my friend. I threw him up on top of the roof, my beanie baby, and they won't let me climb up on the roof and get him. And I said, well, I always bring extras. I said, why don't you look through these and see if you can find another friend, you know? And he just started screaming. He goes, look, here's his brother. And so it's been exciting to see that even the littlest things, like a little toy to love or a book, the book actually tells them how awesome they are. And it actually tells them how to build their bed because many of these children have never had all the sheets.
Right.
And the first 40, I guess 42 kids that we gifted, not one of them had ever had a pillow.
Wow. That's just incredible that you're doing
I
so
mean,
much
here we
then.
are in the
Yeah,
US, and
it's
we're talking
everywhere.
about 42 kids that never had a pillow. So one time, I think in the beginning, I wanted the moms to know that they were brand new pillows. So I didn't put the pillowcase on. And this little boy came up and said, what is this thing? And it was the pillowcase. And he had never seen a pillowcase. So now I put the pillowcase on the pillow and it all looks beautiful. And we, it's, it's just amazing to see what a little bit of caring and to treat people with such respect and kindness does for
Yeah.
the whole family. Even though we're not gifting the parents, it is a gift for these parents to see their kids happy. And one mom said she actually started crying and she said, I'm going to open this book every morning. And she said, these words like beautiful, sweet, nice, happy, friendly, cheerful, confident, playful, smart, amazing, and strong. She said, I haven't said one positive thing to my daughter in months because she said, I've been too worried about what are we going to eat or are we going to be okay? And is the car going to break down and everything? She said, so every morning I'm going to look in this book and I'm going to pick one of those words and tell her she's beautiful or tell her she's smart. So even the simplest little thing like what's written in this book means a lot. One grandma, we were having a gifting and I always have volunteers go read with the kids. And this grandma came up to me and said, do you know what's going on back there? And I thought, well, I think I do. And she said, there's a lady reading to my grandson. And she said, you know, maybe I could do that.
Mhm.
And so maybe doing some patterning, a simple thing like this little bitty book that you guys printed for us might have caused this grandma to realize she could read to her grandson. and interact with him.
And that's so huge because not only are you impacting the kids' lives, but you're impacting the parents' lives in a way that's going to change how they interact with their children. And a lot of the times people's missions don't go beyond the first act. And I think
Right.
that is so cool how you're almost educating parents on just how to be loved and how to love. I just think that is so, so important in today's age, especially like
Oh, it is.
it's
And you know,
important and needed.
and they're so overwhelmed. They I just don't blame any of them for not being able to
No.
think through what's tomorrow, because
Life is hard
usually
for
it
a lot
isn't
of
that
people.
pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, life is
So
hard.
so life is hard. So if we can bring something that might just help them bring a little joy. We put a toothbrush and toothpaste and a little wooden car in the bag, and one little boy goes, "Oh, I am so thankful to have a toothbrush." He said, "Now I don't have to share with anybody."
Oh no.
Oh,
Poor
I'm
buddy.
old and I've never shared a toothbrush with anybody.
Right, right. So if someone listening is sitting on their own painful backstory and listening to this episode right now, what would you tell them about using their backstory as fuel to keep going and stay positive?
I think even the craziness of my background has all helped me to have more compassion for these kids that are hurting and not able to tell anybody what's going on, you know. And so I say, just go forward. We had no idea what we were getting into. I mean, we had no idea. And people told us it would never work. They said, if you don't have big fundraisers and you don't make some people gold givers and silver givers, it's never going to work. And I said, you know, I just don't believe that. I said, this one lady poured out all the change she had in Wayne's hand one day. And I said, she was a gold giver. She gave
Right.
everything she had, you
Right.
know? And I said, so no, nobody's having any gold levels and silver levels and bronze levels.
Right.
Let's leave that, to the Olympics, you know?
Exactly. Leave it to the Olympics. And he said, I don't know if this is going to work. And you said, watch me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
love that.
we don't do any fundraisers. It's just people just provide us money. And some corporations have helped us. And like some corporations want a project to make what team building.
Right. Like
And
participate.
yeah. And so if we do that, we ask them to pay for half the bedding costs. And
Yeah.
then we match that money.
It's
And
perfect.
so, and it works out beautiful because everybody has a little piece of it.
Hmm.
And even the guys like to pack the bedding. They get all crazy. There's a twin sheet set, fleece blanket, a comforter, a beautiful comforter, a pillow,
It's
brush,
just all the
toothpaste.
difference. Like that is huge for a little kid coming from just a hard background and struggling. Like that's night and day, night and day.
Right. And it all comes in a zipper plastic bag.
I love
And
that.
I always tell the kids that keep this bag because if you ever have to move, I want you to just push your bedroom back in your bag and take it with you. Just
Yep.
hug it and take it with you because these kids have to move quickly sometimes.
Yep.
Maybe they're behind on the rent or who knows.
Who knows?
But I want them to hang on to this because they've given up so much in their life.
Yeah.
They leave a lot behind every
Hmm.
time they have to move or relocate or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I just give them that little thought about just you can keep it forever,
Yeah, totally, totally. And I bet when you tell them that, it's like a little light bulb going up in their head, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, she's right. I can take this wherever I want, and it's all
Uh-huh.
mine, and no one's gonna take this away from me, and we're gonna have it
Right,
forever."
right. So it's been very different than we ever thought. I mean, we thought we were going to help some kids.
Hmm.
We've helped kind of, it's bigger. It's just bigger.
Yes.
And we have a public packing once a month, the third Tuesday or the third Saturday of every month. And we pack in a big gymnasium and have 8-foot tables, and people pair up, and they there's a special way you fold, and I teach everybody how to fold so everything fits in the bag. And I tell people, please don't hurry to
Hmm.
get the stuff in the bag. I said, I want this to be the most beautiful bag you've ever built in your life because these kids deserve it.
Yep.
And if we don't get through all the bedding, we'll just do it next time. But
Yeah.
I want each bag to be beautiful. And people take so much pride in it. Even teenagers, they
Cool.
say, whoa, that beanie baby doesn't go with that comforter, or that ribbon doesn't, because we tie it all with a ribbon.
Yeah.
And so it takes some thought and some caring. And I just tell people, keep these kids in your heart. They have tough lives.
Hmm.
And so all of a sudden, we are showing the community, which is very affluent. We live in an affluent community. We're showing basic need, something that nobody's ever thought of. And I just tell them, when you climb in your bed at night, just think about those kids and
Hmm.
just give them a little hope, and just know that they're sleeping warmer and sounder because of the love you put in to these bags.
Exactly. And that's amazing. So I'm curious, are volunteers allowed to come help out at this upcoming event? Like if a listener wanted to come participate, help build those bags with you guys, would that be allowed?
Sure, sure.
Cool. And can they just find that on your website?
They can find it on our website. And just
Oh,
know in our website, it's sweet dream, just one dream in a bag.org.
yep.
Everybody wants to put an S and then they can't find us. And so it's just sweetdreaminabag.org. And,
Cool.
we just love all ages to come help us because even the 3-year-olds can choose the Beanie Baby and get excited about giving. One day, one of the little kids, they wanted to keep the Beanie Baby, of course, and the mom said, no, 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 we have to give it to
Donate.
this child that has no toys.
Mhm.
And she came and apologized to me that she had to take her daughter outside and talk a little.
Yeah.
And I said, don't worry about it. This is a learning ground.
Yes.
We're all learning, and we're all learning to give and to share. And I don't care how old you are or how young you are. Sometimes it's hard to share,
Yeah.
you know?
And I bet that little girl walked away with a different idea, or maybe went home and talked to her mom about where that little beanie baby went and who
Uh-huh.
is being received by. And like you were saying, this is a learning moment. This is about teaching and educating and helping everybody. And you're learning every
Right,
step of the way.
right. And even the teenagers are just shocked because they kind of live in a la la land.
Hmm.
And they have everything they want,
Yep.
and they can't believe that these kids don't have sheets and blankets. We gifted he probably was 16, maybe 15 or 16, tall boy, taller than I. And he said, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with all this bedding? He said, it's so wonderful. He said, I have slept with a baby blanket for years. And I mean, he's a big teenager. and
Yeah,
all
it's
he had
okay.
was a baby blanket.
Mm-hmm.
These teenagers can't even fathom that there would be somebody right here. I mean, not overseas, maybe somebody actually right in their school because nobody's going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
We use caseworkers and schools and churches and just about anybody that has contact with people that are living in
Students,
poverty
right?
to try to find. We work with probably 40 agencies. We used to only do the Denver metro area, but then a few years ago, we realized that Southern Colorado is so poor and there's just no help for them. And so we rent a big box truck and take 300 or 400 sets down to Southern Colorado. And these kids, I mean, it's cold there.
Yeah,
And if people were to go to a church to get help, they're the same people in the church that the people are in need. It isn't like
right,
here, you've got a wealthy church or something.
right. A little bit of anonymity or like staying anonymous kind of
Right,
while staying humble.
right.
Yeah.
So it's been very exciting to see what doors have gotten opened. And we've been very blessed to be with such, I don't know, we're always with happy people because when we're packing, people are
Mhm.
thrilled to have a reason to do something. And kids that get the bedding and the parents that see their kids so happy, they're excited. And so we kind of live in a happy world.
I love that so much. Just so much fun. So be honest, are you more of a visionary chaos founder or are you like a color-coded spreadsheets type of founder?
My husband, he keeps things organized, you know,
He's the spreadsheet guy.
he's a spreadsheet guy. I'm sort of like, well, let's give it a try and let's do it now. But I
So
can
you're
get
the
over,
visionary.
yeah, I can get
Yep.
overwhelmed
Oh
and
yeah.
almost lose sight of why we do this. And all it takes is one child to smile at us, and it's like, okay, I
Comes
know
back.
why we do this.
Oh, I love that so much. And so when you're kind of feeling a little bit drained, you just go back to work, give it to one child, and you're back at it, back in the
That's
groove
right. We're back at
again.
it, or just, in fact, one caseworker came up to us last week and said, years ago, I was in the same situation as these people were gifting today. And she said, I want you to know that my son has had his Spider-Man bedding for 5 years, and it's still in great shape because he makes his bed every day and he just takes special care. That is his special place.
And that's so meaningful. I just love this mission so much. Like, ah, this is just fantastic.
Well, it's definitely turned into something that we never could have imagined. And I
Yep.
think that's probably what happens when you just say, okay, just use me, you know.
Yeah, I'm
Here
at
we
your
are.
disposal. Let's get it done.
That's right. And when I found your printing company, I was so thrilled because you did it at a price that I could afford. And when you want to give somebody a beautiful book, and what I do is their name goes in the yellow boxes, and I make little bitty stickers and put their name in every single book 16 times.
Oh, that's so fun. That is so, so fun. What a just
So,
interactive way to get them involved.
yeah. So to a 8-year-old girl, when she opens this book and sees her name printed in it, she just wiggles all over. She's just full of joy.
It's
You
her
know,
book.
it's her book.
I love
And
that.
we knew she was coming and we
Hmm.
knew her by name.
Yeah. And even that goes a long way too. If somebody knows you, is prepared for
Uh-huh.
you, that's just amazing. It's kind of like coming into this podcast. Like I did some research about the company and learned more, got excited, and
Uh-huh.
now here you are, and I'm so happy you're here.
Well, it's taken a lot of people and a lot of falling in the right situations. And I think to find the printing company that could do such a beautiful job and just do it in in such a special way has completely changed. I think this is absolutely the personal touch that people can't. They say, why do you spend all that time putting their name in it 16 times? Well, because I really care about them.
Hmm. That makes them feel special and
Uh-huh.
wanted and valued and loved in a whole new way.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So we have little ladies that love to quilt and they make the baby blankets for us, the baby quilts.
Um,
And we purchase everything else, but the ladies make these quilts and for the babies, and I have them make them rather a little bit larger
right.
because I want them to be able to cover up those babies in the stroller when they get on the bus and it's cold
Yeah.
and they have plenty of fabric.
Yeah.
And we were in Pueblo one day, and this young girl, I could tell she was pregnant. She had maybe a 3-year old, and he got a big bag. And then I said, well, do you have anything for your new baby? And she said, oh, no. She said, everybody's disowned me since I got pregnant a second time. And she said, so I have nothing for this baby. And I said, well, would you look through these bags that these ladies have made? And they have crib sheets in them and they have a little toy without any eyes to chew off. And I put a little toothbrush in there for the first tooth
Yep.
and then homemade quilts and a fleece blanket. And she found one and she came up and I said, the ladies that make these put a lot of love and caring in making each one of these quilts. And she got real teary and she started to unzip the bag and she said, I'm going to unzip this bag just a wee little bit every day and let a little love out. And she said, maybe by the time this baby comes, I can love it.
Wow.
Well, what
And I bet that baby came and she was so in love with that little guy.
I would think so. But see, all that work those ladies did on those quilts, all transferred. I
It's
mean,
for something.
yes.
Yeah.
And, these ladies are loving their or whatever it is that,
Yeah, totally.
that you make quilts. I'm not a quilter, but I certainly look up to them because it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, they're a different kind, those quilters.
And they're wonderful.
They
Um,
are.
so many young ladies, well, why would anybody put that kind of work in a quilt for somebody they don't even know? And I said, because they really care about people,
Yeah, don't care.
you know. And so there's the people that love to sew and they can do this. There's parents that want to teach their kid how to give. There's parents that need bedding for their kids to make their lives easier. There's teachers that are praying for the kids to get a good night's sleep so they can act decent in school. If I
Yeah,
don't get enough rest, I can be awful. you know?
me too. Yeah, and the teenagers too who are coming to help.
Yes, yes.
I love it.
And they have, it some way we've got to teach the new generation
Yes.
how to give and to care. And they
Hmm.
have huge hearts. They just
Yeah.
need the vehicle, you
Yes,
know.
totally. I believe that anyone can be selfless. You just have to get a taste first.
right, right. So I all I do is rattle on and on. Do you have any more
No, you're
questions?
good. Yeah. What's one thing that you hope listeners take away from this episode and think about maybe a little bit deeper?
That even if you impact one child, it's going to make a huge difference.
Yes.
It, all it takes is just do it. Just do it.
Get
You
out there
know,
and do it.
you know, I used to think well, right now to put the bag together costs about $70. And I thought, how am I ever going to have $70 for every kid that I want to give a bag to?
Right.
But I just have faith that there'll be people that care enough that will donate, or maybe they'll go out and buy the sheets for me, or maybe they'll give me their Beanie Baby collection, or
Right.
so it just takes everybody to do it.
I love it. So if you're not at work or helping at the nonprofit, visiting kids, passing out bags, stuffing the bags, getting all the volunteers lined up, what are you doing on a free day?
Go have coffee once in a while.
She's like, I don't know, what's a free day?
Yeah, I think both my husband and I probably work more now than we ever did when we had jobs, but
Wow.
more hours. But
Yeah.
it's sheer joy, and it's an honor to be able to come into these kids' lives and make a wee bit of difference. And I just hope that they will remember that somebody really cared, you know?
Yes, I think they will. I think they totally will because it's something so small, but once it gets home to their house in their room, it is something so much bigger.
Uh-huh.
Like it's something they can have, they can own and be prideful in and take pride in
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And like you were mentioning the little boy who makes his bed every day, like that's just so eye-opening to me. Like no little kid loves to make their bed, but this kid is so thrilled and so loved by the
Uh-huh.
community that he received this, and he's going to give back in the way that he knows how, which is helping his mom by making his bed every day.
Right,
And
right.
we're teaching him values and getting him going. You never know who's going to be the next person who cures cancer or cures
Yeah,
whatever, and that could be that little boy.
it could be. We just need to
Love
give
it.
them a
Little
little
help.
push, and I think whenever you feel like maybe you've got an army behind you, you
Yeah,
can do anything.
totally.
And I think I hope when kids lay in their bed, they know that they're surrounded by love and care,
Mhm.
and that warmth is real. You
I'm
know that
sure
it
they feel it. I'm sure they do because the energy that goes in when you guys are packing and the thoughts that you guys are thinking, like just all that energy going into the bag. I'm sure like the lady who unzips it a little bit each day, it's just like a little poof of magic coming out.
yes,
I love
right.
that. I love it so much. I'm like obsessed with your nonprofit, Susie.
Well, we are obsessed too, but I feel like every one of these, 23,000 kids are etched on my heart. Wayne always wanted a big family, and we had 3 kids, but now he's got 23,000. So,
Dreams come true.
yes, dreams do come true.
Oh man, well, I have just had the best time talking with you today, and I gotta know for our listeners, how can they get in touch? How can they volunteer? And how might they be able to find you if they are in need?
Just go on to our website. You can always shoot me an email or
Yeah,
whatever.
totally.
I think know that we've even done some kids in Wyoming. So
Right?
we're not against helping kids anywhere.
You're just helping
So
kids.
yes, if we can find a way to get it to them, we will.
Well, I love that so much. So you guys heard her. Be sure to check out the website. It is amazing. You guys will be blown away once you type in Sweet Dream in a Bag. Check them out. You're gonna love this. It's magical, really. So huge thanks to you, Susie, for sharing your
Okay.
story, spending the time with us today, and just letting that nonprofit run wild. I love this so much. We
It
really
definitely
appreciate
is.
you and all the work you're putting into the world of print, changing lives with just a little booklet.
Right. Well, thank you, Zoe.
Yes, of course. And to everyone listening, thanks for tuning in to Inside the Ink, where real people and real projects keep the presses rolling. Until next time, see you on the inside.